You guys all voted for Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. You all voted for Gavin Newsom. And now you get what you get. Because we can't have 9 angry lesbians controlling everything that goes on in Malibu, the Palisades, and Santa Monica.
Incredible mismanagement, incredibly poor leadership. I would go so far as to say that it's criminally negligent. At some point, it goes beyond just whoopsie. At some point, it goes beyond negligence. There's something that's almost criminally intentional about this.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. I have a couple of really good clips for you today. The first one is a great clip from Adam Carolla, who hits the nail on the head here. Adam Carolla, who I'm actually friendly with. We were both speakers at a Nomad Capitalist event. A terrific guy, really bright man. And the scenario he lays out here for creating Republican voters is true. And then the second clip we're going to watch is of Zachary Levy, the actor, absolutely going off on Gavin Newsom and saying that maybe we should think about applying criminal charges to this because this is way more than neglect. Let's get started with Adam Carolla, and then we'll look at the Fox News clip with Zachary Levy. Let's go.
The guys who lost their $20 million homes on the ocean side of PCH will be knee-deep in the permit process. They will be trying to pull permits when the guys in the Winnebagos will have been back for months before those guys ever get a permit. As a matter of fact, good fucking luck. Because here's the deal. Alan Hamill and Suzanne Summers moved because they could not get a permit to rebuild their home of 40 years on the ocean on PCH, right? So here's what's going to happen. Let me just give you guys a little primer of what's going to happen. You know how Bill Maher seems real conservative now when he's like arguing with Jane Fonda about regulations, too many regulations, like strangling everything? Because remember, when Bill Maher tried to put solar in his house in Beverly Hills, that's when he turned against the government, because he saw what the government and the overreach of government and overregulation does. He got strangled. It took him 3 years to build a solar shack. He had a whole countdown on his show, you know, day 1,000 since I've got my permit for my solar. He turned. Okay. The people who live in Malibu, who live in Santa Monica, who live in the Palisades, those are some of the most progressive blue voters in the world, or in the United States. They are a bastion of blue. So what those guys did is, all the people in the Palisades, I checked it out. It's about 80% blue, 80% progressive, 80% Democrat. Now, these pussies are all sitting around crying about Karen Bass, water pressure, how come the forest wasn't cleared of all the brush, what's happening with the infrastructure. You guys all voted for Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. You all voted for Gavin Newsom. And now you fucking get what you get. Oh, now that your house is on fire, well, now you're thinking about something else. Now you want to know what's going on. What's going on around here? You didn't give a shit about what was going on when other people's houses were on fire, but now you care. So here's what's going to happen. All these people who were deep blue Democrats are now going to have to pull a permit to rebuild. And they're going to get the 28-year-old bitch from the Coastal Commission telling them to go fuck off. And then they're going to vote for Trump or whoever's Trumpian next. You see, they're going to get turned. They're going to get turned hard because, as I've always said, live in the rent control apartment in Santa Monica, fine, good. We know how you vote. Go deal with the city. Try to pull a permit. These are going to be thousands of homes, super wealthy people, and these people don't want to live in Van Nuys. They like it where they are. They love Malibu. They love the Palisades. They love Santa Monica. There's going to be a whole bunch of rich people, and they're going to go, I'm rebuilding, and I want to rebuild as fast as I can. And between the part where they go in to the planning commission and plan check and initially and try to pull a permit to the time the first load of lumber, the first load of 2x4s is dropped off on their lot where their house formerly stood, it's going to be 3 years. and 1,000 permits and 1,000 arguments and 1,000 discussions with the Coastal Commission, not to mention little tidbits that they didn't think about, like Carson Daly. You want a swimming pool? Yep. Got to be double hulled. Really? Yeah. Well, why? Well, what if water leaches out and gets into the groundwater table? Carson Daly had to build a swimming pool like a modern day oil tanker. Had to put like a double hulled. That's all right. It'll just cost $500,000 for a swimming pool. Like that, they're going to be, when they start getting the regulation, they're going to go nuts. And when they start running into the bureaucracy and the red tape, they're going to start going nuts, and they're going to vote for Rick Caruso next time because they want to get. That's all Trump says is we're going to pull back the regulations. We're going to free people up. They're going to find out. They're going to get bit by their own snake. They're going to convert. I am telling you, these are the bluest people on the planet, and they're going to be fucking ripshit pissed when the city and the Coastal Commission tell them to fuck off. And by the way, I don't think the Coastal Commission is going to okay anyone rebuilding any of their houses on the coast because they say they're in the business of protecting the coast. They're in the business of getting you to leave. They will get their wish, which is no buildings. And they're going to make it hard for everyone. And then we're going to have to restructure the whole thing because we can't have 9 angry lesbians controlling everything that goes on in Malibu, the Palisades, and Santa Monica.
Yeah, you guys tell me what you think about this. I think he laid this out perfectly. And Adam Carolla, who's not just an actor, the guy is a very, very smart businessman, a global capitalist. And the next clip you're going to watch is of Zachary Levy laying out a case that maybe criminal charges need to be laid on Gavin Newsom here because this is past the point of neglect. Let's get into the clip and I'll give you my thoughts on the back end. And if you don't mind, consider leaving a thumbs up on the video. Hopefully this will be the video which I can earn your subscription. Let's get to Zachary Levy.
Actor Zachary Levy said Newsom is not doing his job, and he joins me now. All right, Zach, what's going on out there?
Hey, how you doing there? Listen, I wish I could explain it. I think the first thing I wanted to say, though, most importantly, is I think we should be holding every single person in Southern California, everybody affected by these fires, we should be holding them up in prayer, like just sending as much love and light and support as we can to everybody who's being affected right now. This is the most devastating fire in Los Angeles history. My family's from Ventura, California. I grew up there most of my life, and then I was in LA for 15 years. This is very personal. The Thomas Fire ravaged Ventura in 2017, and it was so gnarly, and they're still picking up the pieces from that fire. And so this is just, it's catastrophic. It's looking at the news. I'm in Austin, Texas, and I'm watching the news. It looks like I'm watching a post-apocalyptic war film. It's so sad. And ultimately, why we've ended up in this place, I mean, I've been hearing you on your show leading into the segment. I mean, I think you're hitting a lot of it on the head. This is just incredible mismanagement, incredibly poor leadership. I would go so far as to say that it's criminally negligent, because, I mean, Gavin Newsom has been either the governor for 5 years or lieutenant governor prior to that for 8-9 years. Some of the worst fires we've ever had in California under that watch. He clearly knows that the biggest problem that we suffer in California are these fires, and by the way, the mudslides that follow. And for them to do essentially not just nothing, but worse than nothing, when firefighter budgets are being cut, when they are specifically intentionally not doing the work that could be done to avoid these problems or to be able to effectively serve them when they are happening, we are losing, I mean, I think it's something like millions of acres of feet of water runoff from rain and snow every year in California. As you pointed out, I think the smelt have something to do with that. That's an acre foot of water, by the way, is about 330,000 gallons of water. And there's millions of those that are just rolling off into the ocean when they could be captured in cisterns. We'd have an ecosystem of hoses and safety measures that can keep all of these homes and people in these homes safe. And for some reason, they choose to do none of that. And at some point, it goes beyond just whoopsie. At some point, it goes beyond negligence. There's something that's almost criminally intentional about this. Like, what are they doing? I don't know.
So you mentioned criminal intent and you mentioned criminal negligence. Because California can build anything. I mean, look at Silicon Valley, look at Hollywood. If they want to do something, California can do it. But you haven't built a single reservoir in 10 years? You're just letting water run into the Pacific? Because of what? A fish that no one's heard of? Does anybody care about the smelt fish?
I mean, listen, I think that both can be true. I think we can care about the smelt fish and we can care about our environment and also be able to value human life and the wonderful cities and civilizations that we have built and find some kind of a balance in all of that. Even still, with the smelts, there's no reason why we couldn't have safeguards to prevent what is going on right now. This is just, it's absurd. But I would say at the end of the day, you know, like I said, I don't know if there's criminal intent. I have no idea why they are doing or not doing the things that they are doing, but they must be held responsible. This is not good leadership. I mean, listen, you know, this is the man who, in the middle of the pandemic, when people were being locked up for going and gathering together, he was at French Laundry having dinner with his friends. What does that say about the character of this man who is doing nothing to help the people of California? I don't believe that he is. I don't believe that he is. And so I think that there needs to be some kind of you know, accountability that's held to the leadership, not just of California, but also of our nation. You know, I mean, listen, there are people still in eastern North Carolina that are still climbing out of the rubble of the hurricane that totally ravaged all of them in Florida and North Carolina and South Carolina. That's still happening, and FEMA completely dropping the ball there. What's going to happen now with Southern California? Is FEMA going to be there? By the way, one of the things that is almost most criminal in all of this, I don't know if you know this, but 70% or so of the insured in Southern California that used to have fire insurance in their home months ago, this insurance was taken away. The insurance company said, no, we're not going to offer fire insurance anymore. What else? Do they need? They don't need flood insurance. They need fire insurance. This is a fire hazard. Of course, that's the insurance that they need and that they want. And just months ago, this was stripped from people. Like, this is not okay. It is not okay in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm hearing that State Farm yanked their coverage because the regulators in California wouldn't let them raise rates. So now millions of people don't have fire insurance, and they've lost their homes and have nothing. And you're right. You mentioned North Carolina. Remember the Maui fires? Still devastation.
Yeah, Lahaina.
And they were staying in 5-star luxury resorts, FEMA was. So we expect more, we expect better, we expect dignity and competence in the United States of America. That's not too much to ask. I know there's been a recall in California, but there might have to be something else to hold Gavin Newsom accountable. A trial, a public humiliation, because if this isn't enough to step down as governor, if you have a little honor, I think that's what it calls for. Zach, great talking to you.
Listen, man, you as well.
Yeah, you hate to see people lose their homes. On X, I saw so many libs on X cheering James Wood's loss of home. I don't care if they're millionaires or not. Look, obviously it's going to be easier for them to rebuild versus a middle-class person who won't have the money to rebuild their house. And a lot of these people lost their fire insurance, as you might have heard of in California. But I don't care if this person's a millionaire or not. It's still their home. And they earned that money. What do you think actors should get paid that much or not? It is supply and demand. And even if they're a woke, lib, out-of-touch person, I don't want to see them lose their pets, lose their home, God forbid, lose a family member. This is horrible stuff. And I do think the DEI went too far. Not that Gavin Newsom's a DEI hire, but the mayor, the fire chief, and he has definitely shown neglect here. I think a case can definitely be made for criminal charges. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Again, I hope all of you listening to this, that you are and your family are safe, and hopefully none of you are affected by this fire. And if you are, God bless all of you. May God be with you. And my heart goes out to all of you out there, and stay safe. Catch you in the next video.